The lights go out, your phone dies, the water stops flowing. You have 72 hours before chaos becomes the new normal. Would you survive, or would you become another statistic? In the next few minutes, you're going to learn the exact steps to fortify your home, secure life-sustaining resources, and build the networks that will keep you alive when everything collapses. This isn't theory. These are battle-tested strategies that could save your life and protect everyone you care about. Welcome to Prep Pantry, where we turn survival knowledge into real-world action. If you're serious about protecting your family, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This information could be the difference between making it through or getting left behind. Let's start with the most critical question. Is your home a fortress or a target? When the power fails, crime rates surge. Most people don't realize that your front door can be breached in under 60 seconds. That cheap strike plate and those half-inch screws holding your deadbolt, they're practically an invitation. You need to upgrade to heavy-duty strike plates and replace every single screw with 3-inch hardened steel ones that anchor directly into your wall studs. This simple change can add precious minutes to any break-in attempt, and in a crisis, every second counts. But don't stop there. Install a Grade 1 deadbolt, not some cheap alternative from a big box store. Add a door reinforcement bar or security jammer at the base of your door. These tools are affordable, and they can be the difference between a failed attempt and a successful home invasion. Now let's talk about your garage, because this is where most people get lazy. Automatic garage door openers are liabilities when the power goes out. You need to disengage them and manually lock the track with a clamp or padlock. And that door leading from your garage into your home, reinforce it like it's your front door. Because once someone is in your garage, they have all the time and privacy they need to break through. Your windows are your weakest link. In a blackout, alarms are down and response times are non-existent. Apply shatter-resistant security film. Install proper window locks and block sliding windows with wooden dowels cut to exact length. These are cheap fixes that create real barriers. Here's something most people never think about: light discipline. In a dark neighborhood, even a single candle can draw unwanted attention like a beacon. Blackout curtains aren't just for sleeping better. They keep your light contained and allow you to observe what's happening outside without being seen. If looters are walking down your street looking for targets, you want your house to look empty and abandoned. Consider installing motion-sensing solar lights around your property perimeter. These charge during the day and illuminate at night, startling anyone who approaches. In a blackout, your home needs to project strength, not vulnerability. But physical barriers only work if you can react fast enough to use them. In a breakdown scenario, you have seconds to respond to a threat. That's why you need to stage tactical tools in every single room and fallback position in your home. If you're trained and licensed, keep home defense weapons secure but accessible. We're talking biometric safes, quick access vaults, and pressure-tested drills so you're not fumbling in the dark. But lethal options aren't your only choice, and in many situations, they shouldn't be your first choice. Non-lethal tools are critical and often more practical. Pepper spray is effective, easy to use, and legal almost everywhere. A tactical flashlight with high-lumen strobe capability can blind and disorient an attacker while doubling as a striking tool if needed. Every room should have something. Flashlight by the bed, tactical pen on your desk, multi-tool in the kitchen drawer, baseball bat in the closet. The idea is to never be more than an arm's length away from something you can use to defend yourself or your family. If you have children, store these tools high or in places they can't easily access, but make sure every adult in your household knows exactly where everything is located. Run silent drills, build muscle memory, because when adrenaline hits and your heart is pounding, you don't rise to the occasion, you fall back on your training. Don't forget your vehicle. Keep a tactical flashlight, seatbelt cutter, and multi-tool in your glove box at all times. If you have to bug out fast, or if something happens while you're on the road, you'll be prepared. Now let's talk about the resources that will actually keep you alive. You can have the most secure fortress in the world, but if you don't have water, you'll be dead in 3 days. Here's the brutal truth. Municipal water systems rely entirely on electricity. When the power goes down, so does your access to safe drinking water. You need to store at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. For a family of 4, that's 120 gallons for a month. Yes, that's a lot, but this is non-negotiable. Use 5-gallon stackable containers, 55-gallon drums, or water bricks. Label everything with a date and add water treatment drops or a small amount of bleach if the water isn't pre-filtered. Store it in a cool, dark place away from chemicals and rotate it every 6 to 12 months. But even the best stockpile can run out. That's why you need filtration systems. Gravity-fed filters like Berkey, Alexapure, or Sawyer can turn questionable water from ponds, streams, or rainwater into clean drinking water. These are investments that could save your life. Keep backup options too. Life straws, iodine tablets, and remember that boiling water is always an option if you have fuel.
Scout alternative water sources right now while things are calm. Rain barrels, your hot water heater, local streams, park fountains. Know where these are and how to access them. Don't wait until you're desperate to figure out where the nearest water source is located. Food is your next lifeline. When store shelves are empty and checkpoints restrict movement, your stockpile becomes everything. Focus on staples with long shelf lives: rice, beans, lentils, and oats. These foods are nutrient-dense, versatile, and can last for years when stored properly. Pair them with salt, cooking oil, and basic spices to keep meals palatable. But you also need portable options. In a lockdown or evacuation scenario, you need grab-and-go nutrition. Stock up on protein bars, trail mix, jerky, and freeze-dried meals that only require water. Choose options that won't spike your blood sugar and don't need refrigeration. Here's something most preppers overlook: morale foods. Chocolate, instant coffee, tea bags, peanut butter, hot sauce, and bouillon cubes can provide comfort and help maintain your mental edge during incredibly stressful times. Never underestimate the psychological boost of a familiar taste or a hot cup of coffee when everything else has gone wrong. Even the best stocked pantry can lack key nutrients. A bottle of quality multivitamins can fill nutritional gaps and help prevent fatigue, depression, or illness during an extended crisis. Prepare for cooking without a stove. Prioritize canned soups, stews, and ready-to-eat meals. If you can boil water, you can make almost anything, but don't assume you'll always have that luxury. Every 6 months, inspect your supplies. Swap out anything that's expired and restock what you've used. This rotation system ensures your emergency stash stays fresh and actually doubles as part of your everyday pantry. You're not wasting money, you're investing in security. Speaking of cooking, let's talk about how you're actually going to prepare food when the power is out for weeks, not hours. Most people prepare for a few hours without electricity. You need to prepare for weeks or even months. Portable solar generators like Bluetti, EcoFlow, or Jackery can run your phone, fans, LED lights, small refrigerators, or critical medical equipment. Pair them with foldable solar panels for maximum sun exposure and practice setting them up before you actually need them. Stock multiple high-capacity USB power banks. Keep them charged, label them, and make sure you can recharge them via solar or a car inverter. Rotate them regularly and test them to make sure they're holding a charge. When power is limited, you have to prioritize ruthlessly. Focus on essentials: phones for communication, radios for information, medical devices for survival, lights for safety, and fans for temperature regulation. Use low wattage devices wherever possible. LED bulbs instead of incandescent, DC fans instead of AC, USB-powered gadgets instead of wall outlet versions. Practice setting up your solar panels and timing your charge cycles. In a real blackout, there's no room for trial and error. You need to know exactly how long it takes to charge your devices and how much power you're actually using. Now let's talk about cooking fuel. Propane is the most efficient and versatile fuel for blackout scenarios. Keep several 1-pound canisters for portability and at least 2 20-pound tanks for extended use. Store them outdoors in a ventilated area and rotate them every few years. A small propane camp stove covers your basic needs: boiling water, heating soup, cooking rice. For fuel diversity, add an alcohol stove like a Trangia or Solo, and consider a rocket stove for outdoor wood burning if you have access to fuel. Fire safety is absolutely paramount. Never cook indoors without proper ventilation. Use only stoves that are rated for indoor use, and always keep a fire extinguisher within reach. Carbon monoxide poisoning kills silently, so if you're burning anything indoors, you need ventilation. For heating, a Mr. Heater Buddy is propane-powered and safe for indoor use with proper precautions. But don't rely solely on heating devices. Layer your clothing, use Mylar emergency blankets, and isolate one room as your warm zone to conserve heat and fuel. Never underestimate morale. A hot meal or a warm drink can boost spirits and maintain mental resilience during a long, cold blackout. Food is more than calories. It's comfort, routine, and hope. Now, here's where most preppers make a fatal mistake. They prepare alone. Let me be clear, surviving a long blackout by yourself is nearly impossible. Community is your lifeline. Start by getting to know your neighbors, not just polite waves, but actual conversations. Find out who has medical training, who has tools, who's quietly prepping like you are. Offer help first. Talk about local security concerns. You're not building a militia, you're building resilience. Link up with a few trusted households and set up a simple check-in system. Flashing lights at certain times, whistle patterns, walkie-talkie channels. Something simple that everyone can remember and execute under stress. Assign roles based on people's strengths. Who's watching the street? Who's monitoring the alley? Who's handling the radio? Who has first aid training? A coordinated block deters looters far more effectively than individual homes, and it creates a resource safety net. You can share supplies, leverage each other's strengths, and build real stability. Trust takes time to build. Start laying this groundwork now while things are calm so your network is solid when disaster strikes. But community doesn't work if you can't communicate. Cell phones are unreliable in a real crisis.
When towers lose power or networks get intentionally shut down during civil unrest, you need alternatives. A hand crank emergency radio is absolutely essential. It requires no batteries and can tune into weather alerts, AM and FM stations, and shortwave frequencies. Some models can even charge your phone. This is your connection to the outside world when everything else fails. Walkie-talkies using FRS or GMRS frequencies keep you in contact with family members or neighbors within a mile or two. Choose models with good range and rechargeable batteries. Test them regularly and agree on channels ahead of time so everyone knows where to tune in. If you're serious about long-range communication, ham radios are the gold standard. They require a license to transmit legally, but even without a license, you can listen for updates and emergency traffic. This can give you critical intelligence about what's happening beyond your immediate area. Create a physical communications plan. Print contact lists, radio frequencies, emergency protocols. Keep physical maps and instruction manuals. Digital information is useless when your devices are dead. Set up signal codes with your neighbors. Flashes of light, colored flags, chalk marks on mailboxes, or whistle patterns. Simple pre-agreed signals can communicate complex messages without words or technology. There are even mesh networking apps like BridgeFi or Briar that use Bluetooth to send messages locally without cell towers or Wi-Fi. Test these in advance, because they only work if other people in your area are also using them. Here's a critical rule: listen more than you talk. In an emergency, gathering information is often more valuable than sharing it. Know what's happening before you broadcast your location or your needs. Now let's talk about something nobody wants to think about, but everyone needs to prepare for: financial collapse. When the grid fails, digital finance systems go completely silent. Your debit card becomes a useless piece of plastic. Your banking app is worthless. Cash becomes king, but not in large denominations. Stock up on small bills, ones, fives, and tens. These are what you'll use to buy food, fuel, medicine, or to barter with people who have what you need. Distribute your cash in multiple locations. Keep some in your wallet, some in your bug-out bag, some in your car, and hide some in your home. Don't keep it all in one place, because if that location is compromised, you lose everything. Barter becomes vital in extended crises. Batteries, over-the-counter medications, lighters, cigarettes, and even whiskey can become incredibly valuable for trade, pain relief, or morale. Stock extras specifically for trading. Pay off high-interest debt now and reduce your financial liabilities. Learn to live lean and know what you'll do when the system forgets you exist. Financial collapse doesn't always start with an economic crash. It can start with a storm, a cyber attack, or grid overload that cascades into something much bigger. But all of this preparation is meaningless without this one final critical step: testing everything under realistic conditions. Run full blackout drills with your household. Kill the main breaker for 24 to 48 hours. No cheating, no phones, no store runs. This is where you find out what actually works and what fails. Test your movement in complete darkness. Can you find your flashlights? Does your backup lighting system actually work? Simulate a breach and practice your family's response. Move silently through your home. Run communication drills with your walkie-talkies. Test your cooking systems. Can you actually boil water safely? Is your ventilation adequate? Monitor your power usage carefully. Track every watt, every charge cycle, every meal. Expect failures. Dead batteries and flashlights you thought were ready, gear you can't reach in the dark, door latches that don't work. Fix these problems now, not during a real crisis when your life depends on them to survive. After the drill, debrief with your family. What worked? What didn't? Who needs more training? Who panicked? Who stayed calm? Build a checklist based on your failures and update your plan accordingly. The best preppers aren't the ones with the most gear. They're the ones who practice under pressure. Prove your plan works. Seal the cracks. Lock in your preparations before you're forced to use them for real. So let's recap what we've covered. First, you fortified your home with reinforced entry points, secured windows, staged tactical tools, and created light discipline. Second, Second, you secured life-sustaining resources, water storage and filtration, long-term food stockpiles, off-grid power solutions, and cooking fuel. Third, you built communication systems, prepared financially for digital collapse, created local security networks, and tested everything through realistic drills. The first 72 hours of a total system collapse will determine whether you're a survivor or a victim. Every single step we've covered today is something you can start implementing right now. Don't wait for disaster to force your hand. Start with one area. Maybe it's reinforcing your front door or buying your first water storage containers. Just start. If this video opened your eyes to what real preparedness actually looks like, smash that like button right now. Subscribe to Prep Pantry for more survival strategies that actually work in the real world, not just in theory. Turn on notifications so you never miss critical information that could save your life. Drop a comment and tell us which prep area you're tackling first. Are you starting with water, home security, building your community network? We want to know where you're beginning your journey. Stay ready, stay safe, and remember, resilience beats fear every single time.